Is Prince the greatest of all time? We talk about that and a ton of other stuff about Prince on this episode. Let's go. All right, guys, right back with another ISO Swish episode. This one is special. No basketball, no kicks, none of that crap today. We're talking about the one and only Prince today. Marc, how you doing? Introduce me to your man.
My man. Hey, we're doing lovely on this day, man. Today we got a special guest today. We got my family, my cousin, my main man, Prince Maleque, in the building.
What's up, Prince?
What's up,
Yes.
Prince? What's going on, Marc?
What's up, man? One of the foremost enthusiasts or foremost
Connoisseurs.
known, of the legendary royal badness, Prince.
Roger Nelson. That's right. Yeah. So Prince, first of all, I'm going to ask you a ton of questions, but first of all, how did you come into liking Prince? I mean, where did this attention and affection and come from?
The funny thing is, my grandmother bought me the very first Prince album.
Mm-hmm.
She said, baby, she's Southern, so she said, baby, this guy plays on the piano, not piano, but piano,
right.
The guitar, and he writes all his own music. I'm a poet myself. I love writing. I was a little bit shy, like how Prince was starting out. I was a little bit shy, kind of kept to myself. I was always the shortest person in the class. Even all the females were taller than me.
Right.
So I kind of kept to myself, and I've always been into music. Because my other family members, Marc Prince, Lynne Prince, Melvin Prince, and all them, I'm pretty sure you know from the neighborhood as well, they were into music. You know, so it's just basically, I've always loved music. My dad was the DJ or the studio engineer back when they used to set record player upon record player, like 10 record players in a row. He would be the one, when you requested a song, he's the one programming it on the off time or whatever. So whenever you heard, so music has always been influenced in my life. So when I found somebody who wrote all their own music, produced, composed, arranged,
the whole
did
deal,
everything on like the first 5 albums, that was just impressive to me. And plus he had my name. I was like,
right.
I got it.
We talking Prince with Prince right now.
Right. So I was like, I like this brother.
Right. Well,
he's done everything.
Right. Well, let me ask you this, Marc. Give me. Let's just. I mean, a lot of people want to know what our favorite songs are, so let's just get that out the way right now. Let's just do that right now. So, Marc. You give me your top 3, 4, 5 Prince songs, and then Prince, you give me yours, and I'll give you mine. So go ahead, Marc.
Right.
We could go on and on about the number of Prince songs because there's so many hits. So it's very, very difficult for me to narrow it down to 2 or 3 or 4 or 5. But I want to say my top one is Darling Nikki. When I saw him perform that in the movie Purple Rain, man, I was like, oh man, that dude's getting out on that song. He's getting out on it, and it just became my instant favorite. I Want to Be Your Lover. That's an older classic joint, and that just speaks volumes because I am that lover dude. So it just goes naturally for me. Somebody say something. Oh, okay, yeah. You're one of my I am that lover.
Right.
I gotta go Purple Rain as my top 3 because when I hear him perform it live or in a live recording, it just resonates so amazingly because that song is so iconic. I know everybody would probably pick that song. Yeah. But those are my top 3 Prince tunes right there.
Okay. What you got, Prince? What you got on Prince?
My number 1 favorite song is Adore. Because the thing you got to understand, I wasn't always allowed to play the album. I couldn't touch Pop's record player, all the stuff.
And most of us could.
Look, 1987, because his receiver, all that. So basically, 87 is when CDs came out.
Right.
I had a CD. I had the little yellow Walkman, so the waterproof joint.
Oh yeah, remember that jump?
You know what I'm saying? So you could play CDs. And the first Prince thing that I bought on my own without grandma buying it was Sign of the Times. And I played the whole thing through and then that song right there, Adore, just resonated with me. Yeah. That was the last song on disc 2, but I played that over and over. I love If I Was Your... I mean, he had so many cuts on Sign of the Times. I love If I Was Your Girlfriend, but that Adore, and then I
love is too weak to define just what you mean to me. That's one of the greatest lyrics ever, man.
Look, this is when I started researching. This is when I started, instead of just listening and enjoying this music, I started researching because the liner notes you get to read from cover to cover. Prince was one of the few artists that had all all the liner notes, like a heavy liner note thing, especially since Silent Times was the first time ever to have a dual disc for a CD.
Right.
It had tons of stuff to read.
Mm-hmm.
So then it's just like you find out he wrote, composed, arranged again, and did 3 different voices. He sped up his voice. He slowed down his voice. He sang his natural voice on the song. All different things. He even cursed on the song, and it still plays on radio today because the way they hit it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That, and I mean, I don't know if I could curse on here, but I ain't effing just for kicks. He said, I ain't kicks, you know. Right. Played it all. And the radio still plays it, and people don't realize that's what he said.
Right. You know? Right. So Adore is your favorite song.
That's the number one.
Give me a couple more that you love.
My next one was way later. It just before he passed was a song called Revelations.
Mm-hmm.
And it becomes like basically first it was like on a Yahoo broadcast that the girl snuck into this little studio booth, or maybe they posed it like she snuck in, and they were playing that on the speakers.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I was like, yo, I got to hear this song in full. And then lo and behold, one of my buddies got me the full entire thing from the concert because he was actually at Paisley Park, and I heard it's 18 minutes long.
Right.
And I was just blown away. I was just like, yo. This song is competing with number Doors, like 1 and then 1.5.
Right.
Is that on an album? Is that on an album?
It's on Hit and Run Phase 2. Mm-hmm. And then the last one, I'll go back 1982 Erotic City.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because I have all the 12 inches from 45. So when you listen to the full Erotic City, it's just all the different music. And then another one where he changed his voice. And you know what I'm saying? Another one where they say, did he say the F-bomb or did he say
Right.
So it's just like that guilty pleasure. Oh, I'm sleeping on dance. I can listen to this one.
Right.
He ain't got enough.
Right.
No,
that's cool
though. He said funk.
So speaking of the F-bomb, I know that he had a performance on Saturday Night Live where they didn't catch it when he said that. What was that about on that performance on Saturday Night Live?
You got to remember, Saturday Night Live is live. So the whole time it's just like they don't expect people to be cursing like that. Right. You're told not to curse. So if you curse, you curse. So
now they got a slight tape delay, so they catch that stuff.
That's before the tape delay back then.
Right.
Yeah. Right. So back in the day, it just flowed out, which was beautiful. And then also his last performance, speaking of Saturday Night Live, I love it when he rolled up his hands like Molly Shannon, superstar.
That's right. That's right. Wow. That's right. Well, look, my favorite 3 or 4 songs. Number 1 is Joy and Repetition.
That's a classic.
That's to me the guitar riff in that is, I think, his greatest guitar riff. I just love it. And the live version, the live version of that, I can't remember where it was, London or whatever. He just completely tore that up, and I just love it. A Ballad of Dorothy Parker.
See, I like that one too, though.
I love that. Starfish and Coffee. I think Ballad of Dorothy Parker has some of the best drum programming.
Who played drums on that particular song? Do you remember?
I mean, Prince may have played drums on that. Right. I love that. A relatively, not really new, but kind of new, and it's a kind of a quirky song. It's Valentina. I just love Valentina, man. It's hey Valentina. I ain't gonna sing Prince, but it's just I could play that over and over and over and over and over again.
Like for me, with the exception of a couple songs, like Had You, I don't really consider a song. That was just like Had You. It wasn't singing. Right. But where he's actually singing, I can hear anything. Like Scandalous, because the 12-inch of Scandalous is 18 minutes and 24 seconds long, nothing but Scandalous, and uninterrupted. The CD version, it was like The Crime, The Passion, The Rapture was all cut up. But the 12-inch was uncut, even though it said the song titles, but it wasn't cut.
Right.
Speaking of cut, also Love Sexy, when you got the CD, they had the full long 59 minutes or so seconds. I had, since my dad was the DJ copy, I have the one that's tracked, so I could go right to one of my other songs, which would be 4, like right after 3 was When Two Are in Love. Right. That's crazy. So I like Jordan Repetition. It's just something about that song, and I just like the fact that you're in the club, and it has a certain like ambiance about it, and then he just starts talking about this chick in the back and all this stuff. It's just great. Dorothy Parker. Soft and Wet, Starfish and Coffee. Definitely If I Was Your Girlfriend. I think one of the best parts of If I Was Your Girlfriend was when
which is crazy to me, which is like a weird transition. But when Jay-Z and Beyonce slipped that into one of their songs,
right?
And Jay-Z was like, "Yeah, that's hot. That's hot." And it's always been hot for me. That song has always been this like weird male, female, crazy, androgynous type craziness.
Speaking of which, I'm gonna send you the version of Prince's vocals, not the sped up vocals. So you just hear Prince naturally singing before they sped up.
So love to hear that.
Right.
You know, I got you, Mark. But like I said, Chris, we're gonna exchange information, and then also speaking of during repetition, I have the full length version unreleased that has the drum intro. Okay. And I think that you'd be interested since you talk about the drums and all that.
Right. Well, you're from DC, man. You know, it's all about them drums, man.
All about that drum.
It's all about them drums. That's right. Hey, and I think the last song that I really, really like, and I like the remix version more so than the regular version, is Another Lover, Hole in Your Head. Yeah, like that weird Arabic remix. I can't remember exactly when that came out, but I love that. And the last one, I'll say that just the last one is Cab Driver, Lady Cab Driver.
Lady Cab Driver.
Yeah, I love Lady Cab Driver.
I'll send you the extended of that too.
Right, Lady Cab Driver. All right, so that's our favorite songs, right? And just to let everybody know, make sure you subscribe to the channel. And we're not going to be able to necessarily play a lot of his stuff on this video because of copyright. You know, everything's copyrighted, and this video will be immediately flagged if we start dropping Prince songs all over it. But the big issue, the big thing with people, especially in the like late 80s, 90s ish time period, was who you got? Michael Jackson, Prince, Michael Jackson. Who's the best? You know, who's the great entertainer? Who's the great composer? Who's all of that, right? So Prince, tell me, who's your guy?
Prince, of course, because I love Michael Jackson. I have Michael Jackson's birthday, but I love Prince more so because Prince wrote all his own music. He, like I said, the thing that people slept on Prince because you got to realize Prince didn't allow his stuff to be seen. There's concert footage of people fainting and crying, just like Michael Jackson when Prince was doing it in Europe and stuff like that, but it couldn't be shown. Prince didn't allow it to be shown. So people never got to see that side. Unless you were a diehard Prince fan, people never really got to see that side of him because the diehard Prince fans know better. See, Michael never wrote his own music. They gave him a little bit of credit because he was bankrupt because it was Michael Jackson. They just let him get whatever he wanted. If he went in the store, you're not going to say, no, Michael, you can't have it. Why not? I want that. They're going to go ahead. They're going to go ahead and let him have it even if it's on credit. And then he owed everybody. So a lot of the later stuff is that, like, I Want to Hold Your Hand, because I'm not down. I have all the Michael Jackson stuff as well. So like I Want to Hold Your Hand, Akon, they gave him songwriting credit so he can get some money back. You know what I mean? He never wrote his own music. Rod Temperton was pretty much all behind Thriller. But
hold on, time out, Prince. So I mean, I would agree with you on that. But entertainment wise, like, do you think Michael Jackson was a better entertainer? We all know that Prince is a musical genius.
Both were fantastic entertainers, but Michael Jackson recycled the same dance moves. Like if I could hold my camera steady and get up and dance because I love to dance, that was my thing growing up. He did the same, like did moonwalk from side to side, and then later after he did the Dangerous album, he did where they lock his boots into place, lean with the little Annie, are you okay, and all the same stuff. And he did the same thing. And occasionally he do the moonwalk with Jeff Daniels from Soul Train taught him that. It wasn't even his original thing, even though he did it flawlessly.
Plus,
even up until he was like, late 40s or something like that, he still did it flawlessly. But Prince had his own unique style. Plus, he played every instrument except for horns. Right. You know what I mean? Like I told somebody, I had a disagreement with a young lady named Billy D, because I know she's going to be watching later. Billy D said he's the greatest of all time. I said, how could you call somebody the greatest of all time when they only did two genres of music, pop and R&B? And
R&B. That's right.
So, but Prince covered everything. He did country. See, a little known thing also. Remember that Ray Charles Crystal Pepsi, and you got the right one, baby. That's actually a full-length Prince song. Right. And people don't realize that. You know what I'm saying? So that was a whole live Prince song and everything. He played gospel. He wrote for, even people didn't realize until recently when he came out with his originals album, he wrote for Kenny Rogers. Yeah, Kenny Rogers, the number two I mean, the second number one hit, because all of us, because me, you, and Mark, and other people probably watching are old school. That you gotta know when to hold 'em. The Gambler,
right?
We all know that song. We might not have been diehard Kenny Rogers fans, but we all know it. We can sing.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You gotta know when to hold 'em and fold 'em. But he wrote a song called "You're My Love" for Kenny Rogers,
right?
You know, as Joey Coco. He wrote for other artists. He wrote number one hits for all these other artists. Shaka Khan's solo first number one Grammy winning was "I Feel For You."
Right,
Most people don't even realize it was a Prince song.
Right.
So he wrote for several other artists. Sheila E., Paul Abdul.
He said he produced a lot. I mean, he wrote songs.
He did that too.
Right.
You know, but so it's like Michael didn't do none of that. Michael didn't produce. Michael, like I said, he only had two genres: R&B. They give him R&B, but he doesn't really have any soulful ballads, with the exception of a few. You know what I'm saying? R&B and pop.
Right.
Like I'll give Michael Jackson king of pop because pretty much all he did was pop. You know what I'm saying? Now younger Michael Jackson, I gotta give him the GOAT of the younger generation. But once he became into teenage and adulthood, Prince took that over because he covers all genres, hard rock. Because most brothers.
What I loved about Prince, and he was probably the first person I saw do this, was that he just said, forget the freaking labels, man. He spearheaded the movement to put his stuff online and to say, forget them. I don't give a damn about these people. I'm gonna do it my way. If I lose money or I make money, I'm gonna control my environment. You know, put Slave on the side of his face, all that stuff. To me, he was the spearhead for all of that. You know, moving forward. And I think so many artists now, even artists that are like hopping on Tidal or hopping on all these other things, he started all that, you know, in a sense, you know. So I think that's a huge push, you know, for what he has done. Michael Jackson had nothing to do with all that stuff. So I've seen Prince perform, was it 2 or 3 times in person, live, and it was mesmerizing. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about your best live performance. Mark, did you ever see him live?
I did see him once at the Capitol Center.
Okay.
I still have my ticket from the Capitol Center November 20th when Sheila E. came to feature in 1984.
Right. So I saw him. I think I saw him on the Musicology tour.
I saw him at the Musicology tour. And I still have that ticket as well.
Right. So I saw him out in me and my wife were living in California at the time. So I saw him in San Jose twice, and we just so happened to got extraordinarily good tickets, like we can see up your nose type tickets, and it was I would say it's probably the best performance I've ever seen from a human being.
See, I think Musicology is one of my favorite tours because you got as much as I love the Purple Rain tour, there were no really horns involved. Right. And speaking of horns, me and Mark's cousin Greg Boyer, who originally played for P-Funk, because he used to get us tickets not me and Mark, but I used to get tickets from him for the DC Armory shows. Remember, every New Year's, George Clinton and Parliament Funkadelic would always be at the DC Armory. So you know what I'm saying? My cousin played. Me and Mark's cousin played for them first. And then he came to play for Prince. Greg Boyer is his name. You know,
so what was your favorite Prince concert? What was the
That's what I said, Musicology.
Okay, yeah, that's mine as well.
Because it was funky. It had all the horn section. And he was getting down. You know what I mean? And then he had the slick suits. You know what I'm saying? Brother came out in a suit. You never thought you would see Prince in a suit. You know what I'm saying? Getting down, Rhonda on bass.
And his hair was shorter too. He looked cool.
Yeah, he looked debonair.
Right.
So I have to say, Musicology is my favorite concert. That you know, and then he came out with the Rainbow. See, I've seen more than just DC. I've seen them all over the country or whatever, even overseas. You know what I'm saying? So the whole time it's basically when the Musicology, because you got to remember, Musicology came out around the same time as Rainbow Children, his jazz album. So some of those concerts they included the jazz portion. And you know what I'm saying? The jazzy part of Prince is beautiful too. Yeah. Renato Neto on keyboards, when he did the jazz stuff, when he started breaking it, this might have been later in the Musicology when it was gearing toward Rainbow Children. Because like I said, that jazz stuff, you know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people don't know he had the Undercover Madhouse albums that were Prince. I'm fortunate to meet, you know, Manisa Leitner, who's the cover model of it. Beautiful sister.
What you got, Mark?
So, hey, particularly, we talk about production and him being behind a lot of the music. My all-time, you know, wonderment was with The Time, and you know, we're seeing Purple Rain. I didn't at the time when I saw the movie, I didn't know he put The Time together. he was behind that pretty much. How did that come about with auditions? And there were some members of the time that he fired, I heard, that went on to be successful musicians.
Even Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis got fired.
Wow.
They got fired like 5 times.
Wow.
So basically, it's like the Time. Like I said, we talked about this off camera. The Time is one of my favorite groups, and I was fortunate for the last 2 years to hang out with Jerome on his birthday.
Right.
That was kind of cool. So that was kind of cool hanging out with Jerome 2 times. You know what I'm saying? That's a funny brother. He's cool as hell. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. It's just like, I'm pretty sure Morris is too, or whatever. But I love the Time. So I did love the Time stuff. But he was a little bit, that overseer on the Time stuff. They couldn't perform certain venues because he was getting a little jealous, because Time was his R&B and funk outlet for back in the day. So he would let them perform that. But like LA, New York, sometimes he pulled him, or Chicago, big venue, or even Detroit, because Detroit was like his second home with DJ Mojo up in Detroit. So he would pull them off stage. You can't perform tonight. What do you mean you can't perform tonight? You know what I mean? So the times I did get to see the Time, it was awesome. And luckily the Time came and performed at Howard Theater a couple years ago. I was like right up front. I was like literally 5 feet from Morris Day while he doing The Bird and Jungle Love and all that kind of stuff.
Hey, Prince. So we talked about a little bit about how, you definitely think Prince is the GOAT, right? But in regards to just straight guitar playing, you got your Eric Clapton, your Stevie Ray Vaughan, your Carlos Santana, your Jimi Hendrix. Do you think he compares to those guys? Do you think he is the greatest?
All of those think that he's the greatest. When they did the Rolling Stone greatest guitar player of all time, they gave it to Prince. And then the picture you have in your background, that solo performance on "While My Guitar Gently Weeps," because I actually have the vinyl of that with the purple vinyl. That solo performance, anybody who ever doubted Prince's guitar skills needs to go to YouTube and watch "While My Guitar Gently Weeps" and wait for the Prince guitar solo. He killed everybody.
He crushed it.
And all of them, George Harrison's son, and I've Eric Clapton, and I forgot the other, Tom Petty. May he rest in peace as well. Tom Petty and some other greats are all on stage. Like the greatest guitar players of all the stage were in awe while he was playing the solo.
Right. He's the only person that I've heard play guitar. Like he'll go into his guitar solo, and I'm like, is that a guitar? Or is that a woman singing?
Exactly.
And it's just I talked about the Joy and Repetition solo. There's a ton of others, but it just takes you somewhere. It just like you just
they
go
call
somewhere.
That the wah-wah.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. Now, have you been to? Go ahead, Mark.
I'm sorry about Prince's skills. We always see the Charlie Murphy skit about
basketball.
Him and Eddie Murphy playing. Now you told me that that's a true story.
That's a true story. Eddie Murphy, and even Prince talked about it on the radio. He said was Charlie Murphy good basketball? He's like, no, it wasn't that. He said it wasn't that I was that good. It's just Charlie Murphy was just that bad.
Right.
I thought Charlie Murphy had some game, man.
But he had undercover. He had game. You know what I'm saying? Because one of his photographers, because a lot of people weren't able to photograph Prince. One of his photographers, I had the fortune of meeting too, Steve Park out of Baltimore. Has a lot of video of him playing basketball. Wow. You know what I'm saying? He could hoop it up. He was like he was bad. If he just had some height, I think he could have did something because he was bad. He had the outside shot, hit the three like Steph and everything like that.
Right.
So he was definitely dope as a basketball player.
Gotcha. So Prince, have you been to Paisley Park?
I have been to Paisley Park.
Okay. What's it like? Give me the vibe of Paisley Park.
Well, the first time I went, it was something called Celebration. They had like a 10-night event called Celebration. I actually captured a picture of Paisley Park with a rainbow outside the first night of the celebration. It had guest artists like Erykah Badu, Common, of course Sheila E. After a while, later we saw Sheila E. repetitively. This is when we hadn't seen Sheila in a while. So Sheila E. like all the different groups. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like beautiful. The first time I saw it, it wasn't all painted inside with the clouds, with the rainbows, with the symbol, with the eyes. There's a symbol eye picture. And then later, I got, like, it's on my Facebook page, there's pictures of inside. I actually got to see the actual graffiti bridge before they tore it down as well.
Okay.
You know, so it just mind blowing. It just takes your breath away. I'm mad I wasn't able to get to the later after you passed where you could be behind the piano and take the pictures and everything. My cousin Marc Prince got a picture like in front of the big picture that they allow you to take, which is awesome. I need to make my way back there because it just took my breath away. I was just, and anytime we talk about Prince, I could talk all day.
We noticed.
Do that anyway.
So look, my whole thing, I was speechless. So my first time there, I was speechless. I was just like,
wow, that's the first for you, man.
Yeah, they're like, you all right? I was like, man, you don't understand.
Thank you, man.
And then that one room we had the motorcycle. I wish I could find that picture. I'm sitting behind the motorcycle, you know what I'm saying? That he actually drove in Purple Rain. It's just like, yo, are you getting this? And this is back when disposable cameras were out. Did you get the picture? I was sitting on the bike. You don't understand.
You needed that picture. That picture. That's
so great. Look. So we talked about the singles that we love. So my favorite. I mean, it sounds like you got the same result as I have in my head. Is "Sign of Times" my favorite album from start to finish. Is that yours as well?
It is. Well, that was newer because I don't know whether you're aware. You may be aware, might not be aware. They actually remastered.
Yes, the huge compilation.
Marc would tell you. I just recently got it. Just because I get the Japan copy of everything because it has the extra booklet with liner notes. It has better sound quality. Has something called an obi strip. I mean, sash or belt. I wish I could bring it over here and show you because I actually have it over on the dresser over there.
Okay,
and it's just like so. Sign Times the remaster because all the unreleased stuff is my favorite.
I've listened to. Yeah, I've listened to all that. Yeah. How about you, Marc? What's your favorite? What's your favorite album, Marc?
Well, I don't know. I guess I say Purple Rain is my favorite album, but I don't know whatever album the song Clouds is on. He performed that with another girl on Saturday Night Live as well.
That was either and it's sad because I don't know this. It was either Plectrum Electrum or the other one that came out. I know one that I don't want or the artificial. I think it's Artificial Age. It's on the Artificial Age because Plectrum Electrum he did Third Eye Girl. It's the Artificial Age, the one where he has the big afro with the clouds in the background.
Right. That's the one. Right. Yeah. I knew you knew that. You know that.
Yeah. It just Sign of Times blew me away.
Yeah. It just to me it just has. You know, I mean, like you said, he's genre-less. There's no genre for him, but I think that particular album it just gave me more songs I related to. You know, just right down the list from start to finish. And it's one of the few Prince albums that I can really listen to start to finish, and I really don't skip a song. Like everyone's, you know, I've listened to some albums, you skip a song here or there, but I can listen to that straight through every single time. You know,
right?
I actually when I got that set. I listened to every song and all 14 pieces of vinyl.
Right.
Listen to everything.
Right.
You know, so I had to hear it. And then and the crazy thing, I've heard a lot of the unreleased stuff before because I have it, but I never heard it like that.
Do you consider yourself a super fan?
I don't say fan because if any Prince fan will tell you, Prince always said, "You're fan. You know, you got to lower the voice." Well, fan was short for fanatic. I'm not a fanatic. I'm a connoisseur. I love good music. So that's like I said, I don't knock Michael. Michael was great, but just Prince had more areas where I consider him greater.
Right.
You know, because all the different genres, playing his own music, playing all several different instruments, writing, composing, and arranging. That's why I will always put Prince on top of Michael, even though Michael was great, because I don't want to discount Michael's.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Michael was great as well. But like I said, that Sign of Times was like you said, it was totally different than we've ever heard. The crazy thing is Prince had all these because people don't realize Prince had an album every year from 1978 until 2010. And then during that time where he didn't put out an album in 2011 and 2012, he had music coming off the internet, more music off the internet. And some of that music actually comprised the Hit and Run Phase 2, which is his last album while he was alive. Or whatever. That all those songs were actually done when he didn't put out an album. So it later made an album. So then he picked back up because I actually have the 2010 that he only released in Europe through the newspaper.
Okay.
You know?
Okay.
So when
Chris talked about you catching him last time about the number of songs he mentioned. How many songs does he actually have that are out there?
Officially released, officially released, because that's the only thing I can put a thing on. Since I personally archived every single Prince song that he ever did, my tally came up over 3,300 and something songs.
Wow, that's a lot. That's a lot.
You have most of them.
I have all of it. I just got to archive it again.
Right.
You know, I had a computer issue when I started school. My hard drive was close. Well, I thought it was wiped clean, but I was able to get everything back. I just got to put it all in alphabetical order, put it all together. But yeah, it ended up being over 3,000.
3,000 songs. Wow.
Because Chris said 1,000. I said he didn't even touch the surface.
Well, yeah, I was just throwing that number out there. I was just throwing that number out there.
Low.
Right. Well, look, tell me about the mystery, the craziness of the vault. Like, what do you think is in there? What's going on with the vault?
See, for me, thankfully, I'm fortunate to hear a lot of the music that was in the vault, because I actually have his demo tape digitized where I could hear it, where he was singing "Sweet Thing" when he was 16, before Shaka was singing it. You know, so hearing songs like "Darling Marie," and it's like he came out in 1978. I have songs that he recorded in 1976.
Wow.
2 years before he even came out.
Right.
You know, so it's just like, I mean, and there's so much stuff that it's like an iceberg. I haven't even touched the surface because I know there's tons of stuff I've never heard. Like, whoever would have thought that, I'm trying to think of the song that was on Sign of the Times Deluxe that came out. It was actually recorded in 1979. And I Can Never Take the Place of Your Man.
Right.
I Can Never Take the Place of Your Man. On Sign of the Times, 87. Who knew it was 79?
He had
like, that's crazy.
Right.
Where did this come from?
The early years.
And the crazy thing is, a lot of stuff on Sign of the Times was edited down. Even the long stuff that we love, me and you love, first on 12 inches and 45. Some of that stuff was even edited down.
Right.
Like, I have a super extended version of Ballad of Dorothy Parker. That they had to cut that down. Some songs was just like. And then
it's just too much. Yeah, it's too much.
I want to hear the actual demo version of Adore. Like they say there's an Adore version out there that's like 25 minutes long.
Right, that's crazy. That's crazy. How's go ahead, Mark. Go ahead.
Yeah, so talking about Prince, I thought he was iconic in the music industry, but I think also with the fashion industry, and we all got a little peekaboo of that fashion industry when he had the booty cheeks out. Pause.
Technically, his booty cheeks.
I knew he was going to go there.
They were. I mean, technically, they were covered.
It gave the illusion of his ass out, but it was like foam covering it, and I wasn't happy about that outfit either, though. Because
I thought you ran out and got a pair of those and sport them at the club, man. You didn't do that, man. Like we all did. Chris and I did.
Didn't do that.
We did that.
Trust me, I didn't do that.
Come on, I'm not the only one who got a pair of those pants, man, and had my ass hanging out. I'm not the only one out here.
I'll leave that all to you, sir. You're my cousin, and I love you, but I'll leave that all to you.
I thought we would share that as a family, man. We could do that together. Go out the streets and just rock out with our cheeks out.
It's not happening.
That was all you.
That's not happening. Right. So, Prince, let me ask you this, and then we're gonna try to wrap this up as quickly as we can.
And now I get it right.
Right, there you go. Tell me about. You don't really hear Prince except for I hear a couple of songs with rappers. I heard there's a Q-Tip song out there, which I thought was a really good song. Tell me about him and his influence on rap.
Well, it's basically like a lot of people. Like his favorite was James Brown. And Michael Jackson's too was James Brown. So the whole thing is like basically he tried to get into rap. He was influenced by rap. A couple songs he did his take on rapping, like Get Off and stuff like that. He was rapping, but he was very heavily influenced. But then other rappers, just his music was so great, they started taking from him.
Right.
Of course, they had to end up paying for it. Yeah. But they take it from him. And one of the greatest rap groups, Mobb Deep, actually has a song called Thou Shalt Not Kill, that Prince actually came in Ladyland Studios, started showing, let me show you how the music should be done, blah, blah, blah. He started playing around with the keyboard and all this, that, and the other. And then the brother from Mobb Deep said that, they left his parts in. They didn't let him know it, but they left his parts in.
Right.
Wow.
So it's on the Infamous. It's like a greatest hits. It's like a 2-disc thing, Infamous. I mean, I could go grab it, but I wish I had all the stuff right here. I could just say,
That's all right. That's all right.
Yeah. But
we know you have it.
So a lot of rappers were inspired just because a lot of rappers love music. Like you know, not today, because I don't know what's going on with the rap career today.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, like the early rap and stuff like that, you can't get into rap if you didn't like music.
Right.
You know, and Prince was basically like our James Brown, because for them, because they were older than us, they loved all the James Brown and all that music. Prince was our James Brown, where we heard you could sample all the different stuff. There's so many, because like every album from 78 until was always different. No two albums sound the same. 39 albums and none of them sound the same.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they might have some like ballads, but none of them are the same.
Now, what do you think is his? If you had to pick one, his worst album? And a lot of people say "Bat Dance" was probably his worst. What do you think? Was this worse?
For me, I don't think there is a worst Prince album.
Okay.
It might. I would say at least listen to. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? But I love all of it. I said, I
think you're a little biased there.
Like I told you, I don't even have in my music catalog. I don't have it set by albums. I have it set by songs. So I don't even go into which album is this from, which album is that from, which album is that from. I just played all the different songs I like. Someday I might say, well, let me listen to all the songs that start with A.
Right.
Let me listen to all the songs that start with Y or Z, something like that. So I don't have any. There's no worse album or whatever. Some albums were rushed, like Chaos and Disorder, when he was ending his contract with Warner Brothers the first time. It was kind of rushed or whatever. But I like the heavy guitar. That most brothers might not get into. Yeah. I like all the different stuff. You know what I mean? So there's nothing that I don't like. Yeah. There's some songs I just don't play as much on my playlist, but there are other songs that I stay in heavy rotation. And I try to stay away from anything that's on the hit, except for maybe Adore. I try to stay away from anything that's on the hits because I want to be different. Because they keep on putting the same hits out. Put a new hits album version. Put a new 3-hit CD out that don't cover Purple Rain, Little Red Corvette, Let's Go Crazy, and all that stuff. Do all the newer stuff that he did from the 90s until 2000, or even after 2000. Don't keep on putting out the same old hit set over and over. And it's sad because I end up buying it. But come on now, let me get.
That's probably a little bit of a money grab too, as well. So, I can understand that. So, let's kind of wrap this up. But what do you think? I mean, Prince is like a unicorn to me, man. He's just like the greatest, And that's why I really wanted to speak with you and and Marc as well. But what's his legacy? He's gone now. You can go visit Paisley Park and, do all these things. His music is out there. Anybody can get it on Apple or Spotify or whatever. But what's Prince's legacy, do you think?
Well, his legacy is continuing because they're still releasing music. Marc will tell you, I was fortunate enough to get into a business venture and everything because I was getting little by little. Because of COVID, everything got shut down. Money was tight. And you already know, because we said we're not going to talk about the sneakers. So things were tight. I said, I still need my kicks because I'm worse than Marc. I'm 5 times worse than Marc.
Hold on. Time out.
100 times worse.
Are you serious?
My inspiration for the sneaker.
What's your number right now?
I can't tell that on camera. Oh, I can tell you off camera, but I can't tell that.
I trust that.
Because I feel like a lot of people now I'm helping people gather shoes and stuff like that.
I didn't know it was all like that. Okay. Well, go ahead. Go ahead with Prince Legacy. I apologize.
So like I said, I actually recently acquired all his latest vinyl because they did some stuff they had on CD that they never did vinyl until recently. So I got all the stuff from. I was fortunate with the kick game to be able to afford disposable income to get all the last Prince vinyl that I needed. Because like I said, I'm Japan. Japan is the rarest stuff of the rare. And it's like a collector's item instantly. So they only had maybe 1 or 2 copies left. I said, I got to grab this. I got to grab that.
You have to go to Japan to get this stuff, or you can get it?
No, I get it sent. I have a Japanese website that I go through. Okay. And like I said, once it's done, it's done.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I was upset at first that I couldn't track down Sign of the Times because in fact they did pre-orders. I didn't have the money for it at the time. I mean, I had to use the money that I had for living. I'm talking about as far as extra. I was hurt. And then they have something called proxy shipping where they ship and they try to search all over Japan to find it for you. Brothers are charging $400 something, $500. I'm like, I'm not paying that. And then luckily they got a few more copies. I'm on it. I grabbed it. I got
you did your due diligence with that. Yeah,
I did. I got the last copy of the Sign of the Times expanded set. I was like, thank you. So his legacy is continuing because they keep on putting his music out. Because the next album that rumor is that they're going to put out the Parade special, like a special deluxe.
Okay,
so it's going to be Parade, maybe like eight pieces of vinyl. It's not going to be as big as Sign of the Times. Because Sign of the Times during that era, there was more music that he was creating at that time.
Right.
Because you got to remember, just opening Paisley Park. That's when the vault officially started, I think, where he's just recording everything, anything and everything. So 1987, that's so much stuff. So Parade won't be as big as Sign of the Times, but it's going to be probably up there like 1999.
Yeah.
So, then they have other stuff that people haven't heard. Like if you follow on Tidal, I don't know whether it's on Apple because I don't do iTunes because it has subpar music in my opinion. But the Tidal, it has the Chocolate Invasion, the Slaughterhouse albums that haven't officially seen a physical copy release, and they still have music that they're still putting out. It's like certain songs on that vault from the Sound of the Times. I was like, yo, I've never heard this before.
Right. I was shocked when I heard that. I was like, where does all this music come from? I saw the first 14 tracks, and I was like, hold up, there's a whole lot more music here. Right.
Yeah.
So it was
then
crazy.
They had Witness for the Prosecution. They had 2 versions. I had 5 versions.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So some stuff I was like, why didn't y'all put out version number 4? Why didn't y'all put out this one?
Right. I got you. So Prince, I'm gonna end it with this, and one word. If you could just throw out one word to define your guy Prince, what would that one word be?
Genius.
Oh, I like that.
Genius. Can I do 2 words? Genius.
I said one word, Prince.
Oh man, give him another word.
Excellence.
Genius and excellence. Okay.
Hey, right. I like that. Man.
I like that.
Let's go hand in hand with that cat, man.
Right. I like that. But look, make sure you guys hit us up on Instagram at The ISO Swiss Show. It's The ISO Swiss Show. Prince, you got any shout outs right now?
I want to give a shout out to Lucia White. She basically held me down when I needed it. She basically she's like the female version of me.
Okay.
Lucia White is like one of the like when I it's somebody I've known for like over 20 something years, and I've reacquainted with her, and I'm trying to play her some unreleased stuff. Like, oh, listen to this. Wait till you hear this. Oh, I have that already. So it's like I couldn't put anything past her.
Right.
You know what I mean? Right. So she and her, you know what I'm saying? Her knowledge. And then it's just it's so many people to shout out. You know what I'm saying? Let me see. Shout out my cousin Marc Prince. He's a diehard Prince fan. He's
a dynamite drummer too. Dynamite drummer.
That's what I said. Plays the drums. Outstanding. Because him and I actually got to see the Revolution together when they came to Silver Spring. And basically, he was one of my musical influences growing up. Even though we're the same age and the same class, he's a little bit older. I think his birthday's in February or whatever. I used to always look up to him like a big brother. You know what I mean? He always put me in contact with music because we were DC Youth Orchestra. You know what I'm saying? So definitely got to give a shout out to the fam. But there's so many Prince fans. It's just like, I can't
2 minutes in name, man. 2 minutes in name, bro. I know.
That's true.
We appreciate you, man.
So many.
Well, look, Prince, we really appreciate you, bro.
Yeah.
If Marc wasn't on here, I would have given a shout out to Marc.
Hey, we want to shout out Tanja Pagese, man. She was in school with me and Prince at Wilson, man. She's another diehard, Prince enthusiast.
You know who I want to give a shout out to, Chris?
Yeah.
Hold on, let me get this.
Oh, here we go. This is like when we interviewed Big G.
I got to give a shout out to my man Carl Hall, Woodrow Wilson.
Wow. Awesome.
Okay.
Awesome artwork.
It's trying to go away. The business trying to take it away. But Carl Hall designed this T-shirt.
That's hand printed or hand painted or.
Well, I don't know how we did it, but I got several celebrities' signature.
It's kind of hard to see it.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to see it with the background.
It's got to go away because it's white, but I have over 80 artist signatures that work with Prince, from Paul Abdul, Patti LaBelle. Got to hang out with Patti LaBelle last year.
Okay.
All the different artists. Jerome,
you just do the thing, man. We appreciate you.
The only thing I'm missing, if you hear this Morris Day, I need your signature, bruh. I need Morris Day.
I call him up for you, man.
Lewis.
This is the begging. This is the begging section right here, Marc. This is the begging section.
So I have to give a shout out to Carl Hall, who made that T-shirt.
Right off of Carl Hall and Wilson Tigers.
He's also Wilson Tiger as well. He's a dynamic artist. He does more than just Prince. Y'all need to check him out. Carl E. Hall. I think it's usejustarts.com. that brother is very talented.
Right. We're gonna shout out all the brothers from Shepherd Park. You know, Drake Simpson and Dwayne Red, Charles Gaithers. Who else we got? Tommy Duran, and Scott Lowry. Yeah.
Shout out to Steve McClendon. He listens to it. Dynamite Brother just picked up an Xbox for that. He just picked up an Xbox that I hooked him up with.
Okay.
My man Steve McClendon. Right on.
Everybody from Shepherd Park, man. You know how we
Shepherd Park.
Shepherd Park,
Freeman's, all that.
Hey,
So,
man, Prince, we appreciate you coming on, man, chopping it up with us about.
I appreciate y'all having me, man. I enjoyed this, and definitely, Chris, we got to exchange contact info. So
no doubt. Prince is, to me, he's the greatest. There's no doubt about it, and I've debated it and yelled at people about it in the past, in conversation. But I will wholeheartedly say that Prince is, without a doubt, the one word that you said, he's a complete genius.
Most definitely.
He's the unicorn. He's a genius. There's like nothing else like Prince. And if you don't understand, you just don't understand. You just don't get it.
Right.
Only way I say you don't get it because you're too young. You weren't in that. You know what I'm saying? You came along a little bit too late. But I got young Prince fans coming up to me.
Oh, no doubt.
And saying stuff.
No doubt.
You know?
Tell them do their homework, do their due diligence, and listen to the music, man. It'll take you there. It'll take you there.
Right. No doubt. All right, look, y'all, we got to go. So make sure you, like what I said before, make sure you check us out on Instagram at The ISO Swiss Show. Make sure you also like, comment, and subscribe to The ISO Swiss Show. If you don't like or if you don't comment to this subject matter, you got a problem.
Something wrong with you, bro. Something wrong with you. All right, bro. Marc, you take care. Prince, you take care. And we are out.